right, this is a look at the bunks we stayed in last night here at Kincora Hiker Hostel. It's actually really warm in here with this space heater, and then we've had the wood stove burning downstairs right under our beds all night long. So it felt really good. And this is Boots, who wanted to cuddle with all of us last night. Yeah, this place is pretty cool. And Bob loves to keep photos of hikers every year. He's been doing this for 26 years. So, in one of these panels, maybe this one will be for the class of 2022. So I'm definitely planning to send him my photo if and when I reach Katahdin. But yeah, this was definitely a great stay, and I'm so happy we stopped here last night.
At that hostel with the yoga. Sorry, you're about
I know, I told him to tell you about that.
He did. I was like, oh my god, thank you. I wrote down the name. I've got a package waiting for me in Ferrisburg too.
Good.
So I'll stay there, then I'll head there, grab my package, and zoom.
What's good, y'all? Today is Saturday, April 2nd, day 41. Leapfrog and I are just leaving Kincora Hiker Hostel. I have to say, Bob, who owns the hostel, is probably one of, if not the greatest person on the entire AT. And if you have the opportunity to stay at his hostel, definitely do that. Do not let looks deceive you. That place is great, and so is he. So, can't recommend it enough. And there is no hostel out here beating a $5 donation. So, you might want to do it. But anyways, it's looking like a nice day today. It's warming up rather quickly. We're gonna put in about 17 and a half-ish miles to get to, what is the shelter? Venderveer, something like that. And yeah, a couple days, we should be in Damascus. So let's make it happen. Gosh, this section is so fun. Whew. Don't fall. All right. We are currently climbing up and over this freaking mountain, which is 3 miles up one side and then 3 miles down the other side. It is so annoying. It's pretty much taking us a little over an hour to get up the side, and then it'll take us a little over an hour to get down the next side. And then once that's done, we'll probably stop for lunch, because at that point it'll be around 1 o'clock, 1:30. And then we have to climb up again into the next section of trail, which will pretty much take us up to the next set of shelters. So today's going to be a bit of a challenge, and with us getting a late start, an even later start than yesterday, because as lovely as a person as Bob is, he talks a lot. And as we're trying to get ready this morning, he had story after story after story after story after story. And us trying not to be rude, we're listening to his stories when we needed to be packing up, getting ready to leave. But that's okay, because he's one of the special ones out here. So we didn't mind listening to all his stories. But it's probably going to be, well, actually, not probably. It is going to be a long day for us. And we'll probably be getting to the shelter right around sunset again. So our initial plan was to do like 17 miles today, and then do a bigger 23-mile day tomorrow, and then Nero into Damascus on Monday. But Leapfrog and I were like, what the hell? Maybe we can push it a little bit and do like a 24-mile day today, and then a 26-mile day tomorrow, and just get to Damascus in these next 2 days. And that'll pretty much be 75 miles in 3 days. Tomorrow will be a lot easier today, because we'll already be at a higher elevation, and we'll pretty much be hiking down into Damascus the whole day. But we just got to get to this shelter, which I think is Iron Mountain Shelter, which is still like 20 miles away from where we are right now, so that we won't have to do any uphills tomorrow. But got to get over this hill first. And I'm tired, as you can tell. How neat is that? We'll be having lunch down there shortly. It's like we got us a lunch spot. Hey y'all, just finished lunch at the lake. We actually took a little bit of a longer lunch than what we originally expected, but there was a guy who said that he was getting off trail and wanted to get rid of all the extra food that he had and snacks. So we took a bunch of stuff off his hands, and it's like 3:30 now, and we decided rather than trying to push another 15, 16 miles today, we're just gonna go back to our original plan and stop at the first shelter, which I still can't pronounce. It's like Venderveer, something like that. So that's only 8 miles away, which is much more doable, and we don't have to feel like we're racing to get to the shelter. And we'll see how we're feeling tomorrow. We'll probably try to put in a pretty big day and set us up for a nice, easy Nero on Monday morning. And then we will zero in Damascus on Tuesday. So sometimes you set an intention to do something and the day just sort of goes a different way. And we've decided, oops, about to fall. We've decided to just go where the wind is blowing and just slow it on down. But I mean, we're still doing an 18, almost 19 mile day today, which is pretty impressive coming off of the 24 mile day yesterday. So no complaints. And we will still be in Virginia in a couple days. Hey, let's get it.
This is cool. Oh, sorry. Which wilderness are we in now?
Big Laurel Branch. Less than 5 miles to go to hit the shelter.
How much?
Period. 4.8. So a few miles ago, we passed this hostel called Boots Off, and they offer something called Aqua blazing, where rather than hiking miles, they provide the option of renting one of their kayaks, and you can kayak up this lake. And if you spend a day paddling for about 10 miles, that would equate to 21 miles of walking. So I know of at least one person who took them up on their offer and decided to paddle up the lake. And pretty much the hostel will shuttle your pack and meet you at the other end, and then you can continue hiking on from there. And I think it's a cool idea. I love being on the water, and there's a part of me that would love to paddle, and I can definitely do 10 miles in a day on a nice calm lake. It's crazy how 10 miles of paddling equates to 21 miles of hiking. But I am sort of feeling like I still want to walk by every white blaze. So I opted to just hike the 21 miles instead of paddling the 10. But to those who aren't purists and don't really care about touching every white blaze, that's another option for you. Boots Off Hostel, 18 mile for, I don't know, 420 something. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of neat to share. Maybe I'll come back and see what those 10 miles of paddling feels like. Because right now, I'm seeing what these 21 miles of hiking feels like. It's honestly not that bad, but at the same time, it kind of would have been nice to be on the water for a day, working out some different muscle groups instead of the legs. But hey, I came out to thru hike. That's what I'm doing. We really would have played ourselves today had we tried to keep hiking past the first shelter. This last 5.5, almost 6 miles is all uphill, and it's nastier than what we thought it would be. And we got to do this climb at the end of an 18-mile day, so we are pretty much spent at this point. I've probably got another 2.5 miles to go to get there, and I'm exhausted. Leapfrog, she sort of fell behind me, and I know she's tired, but at least we were smart enough to reevaluate and change plans rather than trying to push it beyond our limits. The weather is also changing, and the sun is gone and it's getting colder, so I'm ready to just get settled into camp, change into warmer clothes, start making dinner, and curl up under my quilt for the night. The good thing is, even though we didn't go as far as we wanted to go today, there isn't a whole lot of climbing tomorrow at all. The terrain between here and Damascus is pretty level from what I saw, and then we'll be going downhill into Damascus, so we might be able to push a pretty big day tomorrow. I'm hoping so, because I really want to get to Damascus by Monday to take at least 1-0. If we can narrow in on Monday, then I'll just do a 0 on Tuesday. If we somehow manage to make it there all tomorrow, which would be like 27, close to 30 miles, which I highly doubt we're gonna do. But if we did make that happen tomorrow, then I would definitely take 2 zeros. But I'm planning to get there Monday, because I don't think I want to do 30 miles tomorrow. We've been doing big days back to back to back to back for a minute now, and I'm ready to ease up some. All right, let's get to the shelter that I still can't pronounce. And now I'm irritated because I just saw that the nearest water source to the shelter is 0.3 miles off trail down this steep path. So I'm gonna have to go down there now, get some water, hike all the way back up here, and then continue on to the shelter. And I'm pretty much left with no choice but to get water now, because if I don't, I'll be hiking the first 6 miles tomorrow without any water. Boy, oh boy, this day just will not end. They really just made me walk 0.3 miles all the way back down this freaking mountain that I just climbed for this weak ass flow. I'm sick of this. I'm over it. Today needs to be done because I am really just over it. And I know Leapfrog and Zaz are gonna gag when they see that there's no water at the shelter and that they gotta come all the way down here. So, times like these are where this shit stops being fun and starts working my last goddamn nerve.
He's killing him. Him and Brian. Brian's pretty far too. It's pretty cool.
So today ended up being like a 19.1 mile day. Really glad we decided not to go any further, and we made it here to Vanderventer shelter. I think I finally said that right. Tomorrow, not really sure what we're gonna do. Maybe try to push a 20, something like that, and just see how far we get. And then Monday, we should have a pretty easy hike into Damascus. So I've decided that I'm probably gonna take a couple zeros in Damascus, and then I might look into some Slackpacking options leaving out of Damascus. So I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to take at least a couple days to rest up and recover and eat some town food. And yeah, I'm gonna be in Virginia. Yay. Yeah, today was a lot more than what I thought it was gonna be, but it was still a good day. About to eat dinner, and then I'm going to crawl under my quilt and probably spend the next couple hours editing a video. I'm so thankful I have service here so I can schedule it to post overnight, because tomorrow it's supposed to go live and I have barely even started it. So yeah. Today was day 41, I think. Yeah. I'm loving that it's starting to get a little warmer outside, finally. So yeah, that's gonna be a wrap on today. There are a few people here at the shelter, so we're all just sort of talking before we head to bed. So I'm gonna go back and join them. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Good night. What up, though? Today is Sunday, April 3rd. It is day 42 out on the Appalachian Trail. It is like 9 a.m. on the dot, and I'm just leaving whatever the hell the name of that shelter is. I'm so sick of trying to pronounce it. Yeah, we got another cold one today. It probably doesn't look like it, but this morning is freezing. Ugh. And I'm freezing. Oof. I know I chose to start early in February, but damn, I am so over freezing my butt off in the mornings. And I can't wait to start complaining about being too hot. Oh, Jesus Christ. Should be warming up like it did yesterday to like the mid 50s, close to 60s. And I'm planning to do about 22.8 miles to get to Abingdon Gap shelter, and that'll put me just 10 miles outside of Damascus, Virginia. So I should be there sometime tomorrow morning, or maybe early afternoon tomorrow. Whew. Man, I'm just cold right now. This chill is ridiculous. There were about 6 of us at the shelter last night. It was pretty comfortable. No issues with mice or anything like that. And I slept pretty well. I stayed up later than most last night trying to edit my next video, which is supposed to go up today at 5 p.m. And since I had service at the shelter, I tried uploading it to YouTube overnight. And when I woke up this morning, only 3% of the video had uploaded. And right now I'm at around like 10 or 11%. So I can't guarantee that it's gonna be up by 5, because I don't even know if I'm gonna have service during this entire 22-mile stretch. Hopefully I do. And hopefully that video goes up on time. But if it doesn't, oh well. Y'all get it when y'all get it. So yeah, anyways, today in theory shouldn't be too difficult. I did most of the climbing yesterday, so there's just a little more climbing today over the next like 6 miles, but it should be pretty gradual. And then from there, the terrain should level out for a while, so I should be able to just like take my time and walk these miles today and not have to worry about trudging uphill and downhill and all that stuff. So yeah, that's all for now. I'm cold and I'm gonna try to get warmed up here now that my body's moving, and hopefully I can get my blood flowing. So yeah, I'll see y'all in a little bit. It may have started off cold this morning, but it's actually turning out to be a pretty beautiful day. The sun is out. It's starting to feel good again. And since Leapfrog jumped out ahead of me this morning, I'm enjoying some time to myself to just hike and think and be merry. So yeah, I may start off the day doing my complaining, but it usually turns into having fun again. Most of the time, at least. Oh my goodness, y'all. The Virginia state line is only 24 miles away. And because the terrain is pretty easy today and the weather is shaping up pretty nicely, I just might make it there. If I do, it'll pretty much be like a 30-mile day, because I've already done 5 miles, and to go another 24, I don't know, we'll see. But I've pretty much made it through the worst part of the day, which it wasn't even really a climb. It's more so just like walking uphill to get to the highest point of elevation in this stretch of trail. And then after that, it's pretty much all downhill into Damascus. So I just might try to push it, but we'll see. It is almost 11 o'clock right now. Started at 9. Done almost 6 miles in 2 hours. That's pretty much 3 miles an hour, which is the fastest I've ever gone, which lets you know that it must be some fairly easy terrain. But we'll just keep taking it 1 mile at a time and seeing how we feel. But if I can get there today, I'm gonna try it. So let's see. Just took a little break at Iron Mountain Shelter, which was mile 6.5 on the day so far. Ran into a gentleman named Dennis. I forgot his trail name, but he says he's been watching my videos and he recognized me instantly. So, hey Dennis, it's great to meet you. Thank you for the banana. I've been craving a banana, and it was good. So while I was at the shelter, I had to handle some business in the lavatory, and there was an older couple there out on just a day hike, and they started talking to me a little bit, but I had to keep it moving, pushing big miles today. So from that shelter, it said I still had like 22 and a half miles to get to the state line. And it's right around 12 noon. So if I do make that push, I'll be getting there at the end of the day. But we'll see. Hopefully the terrain stays just like it is. I know I have at least one little uphill section coming up soon, and then it'll be all downhill after that. So let's make it happen. Yo, big shout out to whoever left this juice here at the Cross Mountain parking lot. I really want that apple juice, but I know I probably need the Powerade. Whoever this kind soul is, thank you so much. I appreciate it. How cool. I feel like I've seen this barn in photos and YouTube videos. Here we are walking past it. Child, this wind cutting my breath off. All right, so I just stopped for a late lunch at Double Spring Shelter. I'm not sure how many miles I've done today. I think it's somewhere around 14 and a half, something like that. No, it's probably, well, no, it's more than that. I think I've done like 16 miles today. I've got another 8 and a half to get to Abingdon Shelter, which was my initial plan for today. Looking at the Tennessee-Virginia border, that's still like 14 and a half miles from where I am now. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it there. I might just stop at the shelter because I've still been having some issues with my calves, like feeling that strain and them tightening up. The other day it was my left leg, that calf was bothering me, and now today it's my right leg, and I don't know what it is. I'm hydrating like crazy. Back at the shelter, I just stretched out a little bit, and that seems to have helped. But I definitely think probably taking a couple days off is going to do wonders. And if y'all have any ideas as to what this calf strain mess is, or how to corrected, y'all let me know. I'm gonna do my little Google searches when I get to Damascus. And I might call my physical therapist and see what he says. But yeah, aside from that, we're doing good, feeling good. Didn't get quite as warm as I thought it was gonna get today, but that's all right. It's comfortable enough for me to be in this hoodie. And yeah, I'm excited to be moving along and making progress. Back at Double Spring Shelter, there were a couple military vets there who I've been running into sparingly in different places, and they told me that they're gonna Slackpack out of Damascus, and they said that I'm more than welcome to join them. I think they're gonna do like 36 miles over 2 days. It's like 18 and 18. And I'm like, hey, why not? I'm taking a 00 in Damascus, and I think that'll help to do some slack packing just to keep some of the pressure off my legs. So let's do it. Oof. And actually, once I leave Damascus, those next couple days, that'll put me past 500 miles. And I'm getting close to being a quarter of the way done with the AT, which I am excited about. And I've been talking to a few guys who have these like itineraries drafted up. And according to those, I am on track to be finished with this trail in 5 to 5.5 months, which sounds pretty ideal to me. Even with my 7 zeros that I've taken so far, and in the next couple of days it'll be 8 and 9. Like, I'm still ahead of where the averages should have put me. So I'm doing pretty good. Still no major injuries. All the stuff that I was dealing with earlier on in the hike has pretty much subsided. There's been no knee pain. My toes are feeling good. My feet are good. Achilles are good. It's just these issues with my calves now. But I think those will be fine too. So yeah, let's get these miles done today. Look, I'm 4.8 away from the shelter, and that'll leave exactly 10 miles tomorrow to hike into Damascus. Oh, I can't wait to get there. Should be at the shelter in less than 5 minutes at this point. And I'm good and tired, so I'm ready to take it on in for the night. Good morning. Today's Monday, April 4th. It is day 43. I am finishing up breakfast here in the shelter. Of course, I'm the last one still in the shelter because I always am. I just like taking my time in the mornings, especially when it's not warm. And I'm only going 10 miles into town today, so what's the rush? I got a reservation at Lady Di's Hostel for the next couple days, so I'm excited to stay there. I've seen some really great reviews, and I'm just gonna enjoy the town of Damascus. I'm excited. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish up here and get packed up, and I'll see y'all on trail in a little bit. All right, so it is 9:15 a.m. I just left the shelter a few minutes ago. I'm really in no rush today, and I'm really not tripping about anything. It is a little cold, and my hands are stinging a bit because I had to filter water this morning, and that always sucks when it's cold outside. But I'm going into town. I'm almost in Virginia. I hope the girls are ready. Whew. The Virginia state line is just a few miles up ahead, and in 10 miles I'll be in Damascus. So I should be getting into town around 1:30, and it's pretty much all downhill, so I'm just gonna take my time and hike in, and I can't wait. Oh my God, this is it! I'm in Virginia, bitch! Period. Oh my gosh. Going to Damascus. I'm in Virginia. Purr. Oh my gosh. Yay, Virginia. Let's get it. Ow. How exciting to be in Virginia now. Yeah. Getting closer to my home state of Maryland, even though it's still gonna be a little minute before I get up there. Virginia holds the largest portion of 18 miles with, I think, around 560 miles are in just Virginia alone. I mean, it's definitely like the biggest state on the East Coast, or one of the biggest states. And we're literally walking through like pretty much the middle of the state. So it's gonna take me at least a month, maybe like 5 weeks to get to Virginia, depending on my mileage. So yeah, I'm excited to enter new territory, which also feels kind of like familiar territory. Oh, I'm getting closer to seeing like my friends and family, and I can't wait. Virginia, we made it. So the town of Damascus, which I'll be reaching in another 3.5 miles, sits at mile marker 470. So after these couple zeros, I'll start moving north again, and I'll be crossing my 500th mile in the next few days. So happy about that. I'm almost a quarter of the way done. So I just have to do this like 4 more times, plus some change. All right, let's get to Damascus and let's find some food. AT mile 470. Welcome to Damascus. Yee! All right. Got some food. Stopped at the outfitter. And now we are at our B&B for the next couple of days. All right, so I'm here at Lady Di's Hiker Hostel in Damascus, Virginia. Why did I almost forget where I was? So I got settled in earlier, took a shower, put on these loner clothes, got cleaned up, and then went to dinner at the Damascus Diner, which was the only establishment open in town today because it's Monday and we're in the South and towns are never open on Mondays or Tuesdays. I also hit up the outfitter earlier today and picked up some stuff. I'm gonna be swapping some gear items out and sending some things home. So I will talk to y'all more about that tomorrow. So pretty much tomorrow I have to do my food resupply. Lady Di actually did my laundry for me today, so I don't have to worry about that. But I do need to treat all my clothes with permethrin to keep ticks and mosquitoes away. So that'll be tomorrow. I'm gonna mail a few things home, and then I need to do a few minor gear repairs. So we'll get into all that later. For now, it's after 9 o'clock and I'm about ready to go to sleep. I'm pretty tired. I'm excited to be taking a 00 here in Damascus. Yeah, I'm feeling like I could use a couple days rest before I tackle this giant state of Virginia. So yeah, this is pretty much gonna do it for today. I'll see y'all in the morning. Breakfast is at either 7 or 7:30, I can't remember, but we're gonna go have breakfast in the morning and then start taking care of stuff before it rains tomorrow. Am I forgetting anything? Don't know. Don't really care right now. I'm just tired. So, y'all have a good night. I'll see you later. Peace.
Thank you, science and engineers.
Yes. They were very excited.
What's up? How y'all doing? Today's Tuesday, April 5th, and it's day 44. I'm still here at Lady Di's Hostel in Damascus, Virginia, taking my first of 2 zeros today. As you saw, we had a very big, lovely breakfast, and I'm starting the process of taking care of all of my town chores. So the first thing I did this morning was clean out all of my cookware, and back here you can see like my gaiters drying and also my water filters, which I just cleaned out. Now I'm looking through my stuff to see what food I need to grab for the next few days. And also, I am going to be sending some items back home. So I will show you what they are right now. Okay, so we have here the stuff that I am planning to ship home. On the right, I have my compression sleeve, which I bought for my knee. And since I'm not really experiencing knee issues anymore, I don't feel like I need that. So I'm going to send it home. My micro spikes, which I have not used. I was carrying them just in case maybe I needed them, especially in the Smokies. But turns out I did not need them at all. Have not needed them. Don't expect to need them. So those are going back home just to save a little weight. I had to restock on some Luthco tape, but obviously I'm not carrying the entire roll because I probably don't need it. My feet have been doing pretty well. No blisters, only a couple hot spots. So I'm going to send the rest of the roll back home. And lastly, I am going to send my Teva sandals home. And I've been seeing a lot of people carrying Crocs and wearing like camp shoes like these here. And I figured they are probably a little more efficient than my sandals. First of all, I get up at least a couple times every night to use the bathroom, and having to undo that Velcro strap and make that loud sound at night, especially when I'm sleeping in a shelter with other people, it's so annoying, and I always feel so like embarrassed having to pull the straps apart. So with these, I don't have to worry about that because I can just slip my feet into them. But then also, I use my camp shoes in the shower when I'm at hostels. And because the straps on my sandals are made of actual fabric, they stay wet after I take a shower for at least an hour or two after I'm finished in the shower. And when I wear my sleep socks with my sandals, they end up getting wet because the straps are still wet. So I figured these would be much better to wear around camp because they're easier to slip in and out of, and they're easier to take a shower in because they dry pretty much immediately as soon as I get out of the shower. So I picked these up at the outfitter here in town. These are Merrell's. They're pretty cool looking, as you can see. And I figured I could just take a couple carabiners and strap them to the outside of my pack. So I'll be carrying these from now on, sending the Teva sandals home. I also debated sending my outdoor research down mittens home, but I was looking at the forecast over the next week and a half or so, and it seems like we still may be expecting some cold weather at night, and that's typically when I would reach for these to put them on while I sleep. So I think I'm going to continue to carry these, and when I get to Harper's Ferry, I will probably pass them off to my parents to take back home. So yeah, these are the items that are going home for now. And I might be saving a little bit of weight, but probably not much, honestly. So yeah, we're gonna go to the post office in a bit. So long, Steph. See you back at home. It is so crazy to me how many trail towns I go to where at least one person recognizes me. Like, I just went to the post office to mail my stuff home, and the clerk recognized me from my YouTube, and I was like, dang, this community is really out there checking for people. And like every town that I've stopped in so far, there's been at least one person that recognizes me, and that is so wild. But at the same time, hey y'all, if you see me, feel free to speak. I'm happy to chit chat and you know, see what's what. So it's pretty cool. All right, so I'm back at the hostel. Got my resupply done and shipped my stuff home. And now it's time to reapply this permethrin to keep the ticks and mosquitoes away. It's been 6 weeks since I left my home, so my last treatment has pretty much worn off, and I've also worn all of my stuff 6 times. So it's time to reapply before it starts getting warmer and before I start making my way into Virginia. And as y'all can kind of see, I did pick up a few more clothing items in town. So I haven't been loving these shorts too much. I told y'all that I had to cut the underwear that was sewn into them out because they were causing chafing. And because I'm drinking so much water and tea and coffee, I also just have to pee like 15 times an hour. And it is a lot to have to like do that. So I decided to pick up a different pair of shorts from the dollar store, and these were like $4, and I cut them and re-sewed them to sort of create a little skirt. So I'm gonna try to wear that for a few days and see how I like it. And to go under the skirt, I bought some women's tights. And I was saying before that I was hoping to pick up some tights to wear while I'm hiking because I don't really want to hike in my smart wool tights. Those are just for sleeping. So now I have some tights and a little skirt. For the time being, I think I'm going to hold on to these shorts because they're tiny and easy to pack away and they don't weigh anything. So I just want to make sure that these shorts that I just re-sewed are able to hold up because I am not a seamstress or anything like that. But yeah, I also treat my fanny pack, and then I'm actually going to go grab my backpack and I'm going to treat the straps and the hip belt pockets since those have actual fabric that ticks can cling on to. So yeah, we're going to get this done, and then I'm probably going to head back down to Main Street to the diner to grab some lunch because I'm starving. Okay, so my clothes are all treated. I'm still letting them dry. And I went to grab some lunch. Now it's kind of time to organize my food and maybe get some of this stuff cleaned up so I can lay down for a bit. And then I'll start looking into mapping out this next section of trail because I really have no idea what's ahead. Hey, I know I haven't filmed anything since earlier when I was organizing my resupply and all that stuff, but yeah, I got my food situation organized. I have about 3.5 days of food. I went to get some dinner, went to the local distillery and had a little tasting, and now I am back in the hostel for the evening. So my plans have sort of changed slightly. Rather than taking a second zero tomorrow, instead I am going to do some more Slackpacking. So a friend of mine, Gary, if y'all remember, Gary, who left his sit pad on top of Mount Albert, he's here at the hostel also. And he's going to get picked up in the morning. The shuttle driver is going to take him about 20 miles out, and then he's going to hike back into town tomorrow. So I've decided to join him rather than taking another zero, just because I want to start knocking out these miles in Virginia. I mean, there's like 550 of them, so hoping to get them done as soon as possible. So yeah, we're gonna slack pack, and then I'm gonna come back to town tomorrow and stay a third night here at Lady Di's. So I managed to get my resupply done. I shipped some stuff home. I swapped some stuff out. Treated my clothing and stuff with permethrin. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I also managed to squeeze in some rest time. So I'm always happy about that. So for the rest of the night, I'm probably going to just chill, probably watch some YouTube videos, and then I'm gonna call a friend of mine because I told them that I would call them today. And then I'm probably gonna go to bed. So I'll see y'all in the morning and we'll get this 20-mile slack pack done. So this is all for now. Y'all have a good night and I'll see you later. What's good? Today is Wednesday. Wait, is it Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday, March 6th, day 45. And today is another slack pack day. As you can see, I've got this teeny tiny little day pack on. That's Gary right behind me. So this morning, we were shuttled about 24 miles north of Damascus, and pretty much we are going to spend the day hiking back to Damascus with our easy day packs. The weather is supposed to be pretty decent today. Clouds mixed with sun, around 70-ish degrees from what I last saw. So it should be a pretty good day. I'm already getting too hot in this freaking hoodie, so I'm gonna need to take it off. And I'm rocking a new look today. Don't know if you can tell, but I took these basketball shorts that I got from Dollar General, made them into a little skirt, and then I picked up some women's leggings. So I'm into it. Should be a pretty cool day. Mostly downhill back into Damascus. And this will save us from having to climb out of Damascus. So tomorrow, when we leave town again, we'll get shuttled back to the same drop-off point today, and then we'll continue north into the Grayson Highlands where the wild ponies are. So yeah, hoping I can make pretty good time today and get back to town so I can eat before it rains tonight. And what was I about to say? Damn, I forgot. I really just forgot. Well, I guess that's all for now. Oh, I remember. So today I'm probably just going to be mostly listening to podcasts and stuff and just trying to get these miles out of the way. So I don't know how much filming I'm gonna do today, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Stuck them in my backpack side pouch, and the fall jarred one of them out of the pack.
Yeah.
And that's where it is on that icy path. So, it didn't get lost because it came off the pole.
This is wild. Can't even tell you why I have sunglasses on, because you can't see anything. So today is actually the first time that I am hiking south since I've been out here. So the way it worked is that Gary and I got shuttled 24 miles ahead of where we stopped. So 24 miles north of Damascus. And basically, once we got dropped off, we just turned around and now we're hiking southbound back to Damascus. So we were able to leave our packs and all of our heavy gear and all of our extra food back at Lady Di's hostel, because we'll be back there again tonight. And so far it is marvelous. I have next to nothing. I have like 1 liter of water plus my filter, a few snacks to get me through the day, and a few extra layers in case it starts raining. But aside from that, feels like I'm just walking through the woods. And the cool thing is we're passing a lot of hikers who left Damascus yesterday, because they're all still hiking north with their full packs. So I ran into another YouTuber. Her name is Nancy. I think her trail name might be Sunshine, but I'm not sure. And she has this big black poodle named Mako. And it was so cool that I ran into her, because she started hiking maybe a few days or close to a week before I did. So I wasn't sure if I would run into her or when I might run into her. And I saw her today, recognized her immediately, and we stopped and chatted for a bit. And it was so good to see her. And I feel like I'll probably be running into her over the next couple of days, because we're now sort of hiking in the same area. But yeah, today's pretty cool. Mostly going downhill with just a few small climbs, but with basically nothing on my back, everything is feeling so much easier on the lower half of my body. So I'm really confident that I can make pretty decent time today. Morning. So it's around 12:45. We've done a little more than 10 miles today. So just 14 more to go, or a little less than 14 at this point. All we have are snacks, so we don't really need to stop. We're just moving and eating while we walk. But right now, the trail has us on a bike trail, which is called the Virginia Creeper Trail. From my understanding, it's about 18 miles in length, and you can get a shuttle from Damascus up to the highest point on the Creeper Trail and then just ride back down into Damascus. And honestly, that was my original plan for today. I was gonna take a second zero, and do that bike ride and just sort of enjoy the nice weather today. And I don't know, I really wanted to do that. And if you've been following my channel for a little while, you've seen that I've done some small bike packing trips in the last year or so. But when the option of Slackpacking came up, I was like, maybe I'd rather get another 24 miles ahead without having to carry all of that weight. And then I can just go back to Damascus, sleep in the hostel one more night, and avoid the rainstorms that are supposed to be coming through this evening. So I decided to do that instead of riding this trail, but it looks really nice and beautiful from what I can see. And there are a bunch of people on bikes passing us at the moment, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, if I had someone who was in town who would have done it with me, I probably would have opted for the bike ride and just taken a second zero. The weather is supposed to be not great tomorrow, so bike ride is pretty much out of the list of options at this point, but no worries. At least I'll be 24 miles ahead when I get going tomorrow morning. So that'll give me an easier leg to the next town and resupply point. So yeah. All right, so we've logged close to 15 miles on the day, and we've reached Saunders Shelter, which is the first shelter out of Damascus. Only 9.5 miles left to go, but I needed to make a pit stop because I saw that this shelter has a privy, and y'all know I hardly pass up a good privy. So I'm gonna go hit that, probably eat a little snack, and then continue on into town. I made it back to the road that leads to town. Whoop, whoop, yeah. That is 24.5 miles. Dang, started at around 9:10, 9:15 this morning, and it is now 5:40. So that's all in a day's work. And I have to tell you, whether I have a full pack on or not, 24 miles is still 24 miles. But I was feeling amazing today without all that weight. No pain, no discomfort, no nothing. So I'm excited to continue on tomorrow into the Grayson Highlands. I'm excited to start knocking out these Virginia miles. Whew. And I'm more excited to grab one last meal in Damascus tonight. And the weather's been so nice today, so I'm very thankful for that. It's actually been quite warm. So all my complaining about the cold just went right out the window today. I'm so glad to be back. I'm about to walk right into the gas station and get me something nice and cold to drink. And then I'm gonna go take a shower and then eat. Whew.
Look at that gas pipe. 404.
Okay, so this is pretty much going to wrap up the day and probably wrap up this vlog. After we got back and got showered, Gary and I went to a different restaurant, which was actually open today because it's Wednesday, so the town comes back alive. It's called the Wicked Chicken. So we had a nice little dinner there. It's starting to thunderstorm now, and it's going to be storming pretty much the entire night. So I'm glad that we slackbacked and came back to Lady Di's hostel. I was just sort of going around getting my stuff organized because tomorrow we're getting shuttled back to the same parking lot where we started today, and we're going to continue on northbound. I was just sitting down and trying to put together a little itinerary for this next stretch of trail, and I think at least for the next few days I'm going to be scaling back my daily mileage a little bit. The 20-mile days are just taking a lot out of me, so I'm gonna start taking my time getting to the next few towns. So I believe the next stop is going to be Marion, Virginia, which I am planning to get to in 3 days. So I've got a 15-mile day tomorrow, a 14-mile day on Friday, and then just 10 miles to get to the Gap where I'll be able to call a shuttle. The weather for the next few days is not looking so great. It's supposed to be a lot of rain and also possibly some snow on Friday and Saturday, which I was hoping we were done with snow after the Smokies, but apparently not. So yeah, it's going on 9 o'clock now, so I'm about to just lay back and relax for the rest of the evening. I'm probably going to work on editing this video and get it scheduled for this coming Sunday so that I won't have to worry about it. I'm trying to get ahead of my videos. For some reason, my videos keep catching up to me, and then I'm not able to post them on time. So I'm trying to just stay ahead of the game a little bit. But these next few days, from what I've heard, should be pretty sweet, even though the weather's not looking so great. We're going up into the Grayson Highlands tomorrow, which is famous for the wild ponies, which everyone's been sort of talking about the ponies. I don't really care. I hope they stay a good distance away from me because, I don't need to be up close and personal with animals like that. But we'll see what happens. So this is pretty much going to do it. Thank y'all for watching. Damascus has been great. Probably one of my favorite towns, right up there with Franklin and Hot Springs, and I can't wait to come back in a month for trail days. That's gonna be so fun. But yeah, tomorrow it's time to go. So let's start knocking out these miles in Virginia, all 550 of them. All right, this is gonna do it for this vlog, so I will see y'all in the morning in the next video. So take care and have a good night. Bye.